just looked at myself.
And she was like, you know, there are some people who I think are just supposed to be blonde, and I think you're one of those.
Are you auditioning right now? What's happening in the acting world?
$50,000 post. The 42 days of gifting in the Smith household ended on Sunday. Serotonin hit list. Have I ever talked to you about this? Oh my God, James, this is like Harry Potter.
There was this cute guy and he had on this watch and I was like, that's my way in. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Sisterly Podcast. I'm Molly.
And I'm Meg.
How's it going?
Good.
It felt fake because we know how it's going.
Yeah, we're trying not to crash out on this one. Listen, that's why that smile looked so cheesing real hard. I love a good, like, what the heck is going on with these two wild, crazy people?
I'm gonna stay here the whole episode.
I'm gonna pee again. Listen, my incontinence is not letting me maintain a dry pair of pants, so please be mindful of the fact that I can't hold it in.
Can we touch on what you were saying a minute ago? Because I'm actually wondering, like, if this is a perfectionist thing. Like, do other people who aren't perfectionists not crash out as much?
Probably. I mean, before the podcast, I was just like, I can tell I was like irritable, right? Like James is like, we have a group message. He's like, okay, let me preface. He was supposed to get home so he could like watch Charlotte while I recorded, okay? He was late. We were late. It was really fine. Like it was all well. But I'm like trying to finish my pump because I kind of feel like, you know, imprisoned. It's like I can't do much when the pump is on me. And so I'm like, you know, count down 30 seconds. And this sweet man is like, so who all's in that group chat? What numbers are those? And I'm like, I ain't got time. I don't know. You're going to have to get my phone. I ain't got time to look through and tell you who all these 12 people are that I don't know and maybe you don't know. And let's cross-reference. Let's put this all together on a whole PDF. And no, like I got 30 seconds and then I got to set up this. And then I was like, okay, take a deep breath. You love your family. You love your family. It's okay.
No, but that's me. I had the exact same situation happening over here. And I'm about to throw everything.
There's like do you remember the reel? Or it wasn't a reel, it was like a Vine or something, or like a whatever. And the mom's running around and she's like, throw it away. Just throw it away. Because she's like, they're like trying to clean up the house and the mom is like losing it so much. She's like, forget it. Just throw it away.
It is one of the best reels. And it's a guy doing it. It's so funny.
We grew up with that mom. That is our mom. So it's in there. She's in there.
It's sinking in. No, I was trying to post links for our last episode on YouTube, and Google's already like more higher security than the White House. Like I got into the White House in less time than it took me to try to post a link on our YouTube. This is a true story. It wanted me to, I was trying to post a link. It wanted me to do a 6-second video of myself or post my ID. Okay, one, I'm not giving you my ID to keep in your log for 2 years. You can have 6 seconds of my face. And so I was going in to do that, and then it wanted me to log in. And I was like, I have never had such a hard time just doing something with, like, technology.
I think that's what the crash out is. It's this technology. Like, I can't be bothered.
Cannot be bothered. I called you earlier, and I'll talk about this on the pod because we can just all laugh about how dramatic this is. I was calling you in a fury leaving the gym because I was like, I'm this close to hiring an assistant.
I think about this all the time. I'm like,
I'm not kidding.
do I need do most people need assistance in life and they
Mhm.
just either one, they can afford it,
Mhm.
two, they're just managing better, or am I just doing too much? Or I just I don't know how to hold it. Like my
So
brain's just like, blah, 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 blah.
here's what it is. We're creatives. We got a lot of different things to hit. If there was 2 of me, watch out.
I know. Yeah. Well, and I have a little nugget who's definitely going through 4-month sleep regression, which is why I messaged you. I hope it didn't come off unkindly. It was just like facts. You can tell, it was like, if I'm only using periods and I'm not using exclamation marks, we know that she's hardcore in the moment. And I message you something, period, something, period, something, period. And it's because this little nugget will not sleep unless we're holding her.
Oh, that's hard.
Oh, yeah.
That is so hard.
Every time I laid her down, and I'm like, oh, queen.
And
I
that's sleep
can't.
regression?
Well, it's, as they will say, it's not a regression, it's a progression because it's they're growing. But the 4-month is a biological change. So they're learning how to sleep like an adult. So their sleep cycles are literally changing to adult sleep cycles. What? Is it the sound that your drink made when you were drinking?
No, I just looked at myself.
And it made you laugh. It made you cry. Oh, did you not listen to our podcast last week? All about being kind to yourself?
No, I literally was just making fun of myself in my head. I was just like, my hair just looks crazy.
You're giving Hermione Granger. It's perfect. I love Hermione. She's the best character. So all that to say, I did something that I know I'm going to have PETA come after me for. I'm just kidding. What is the mothers of PETA? The equivalent, whatever. Okay.
Not PETA.
No, I know, but what's the equivalent association of moms who are okay.
They're on Instagram.
You don't think they're on TikTok?
Yeah, social media moms.
Oh, okay. You don't. I got you. Anyways, I took the lounger and I put it in the crib. And I put her down in the lounger. And I kid you not, she was like, oh, nice. She just wants to be held. She wants to feel that secureness.
You know what? She likes a little elevation. You know, they sell these beds for adults.
No, it's not the elevation. No, because I laid her flat. It's the fact that she
I thought
had
you were talking about the thing, the bouncer.
No, she has the bumpers all the way around her. So it feels like she's hugged.
I understand that. It's like putting pillows around you.
So I think that's part of why the crashing out was happening for me too. Was
yeah, you're trying to do a bunch of things. No, I think that's where it happens for me too. And I thrive on juggling a bunch of different things. Honestly, it's adrenaline, but it's when at some point it topples over and I can't hold everything. So that's
I don't think any human can. But I think there is the few of us who attempt.
I think I'm very good at multitasking.
Oh, okay.
Not gonna lie. I'm going to toot my own horn.
Well, I literally said to my husband before this, the last words I said to him were, I don't know. I can't answer that right now because my brain can only do one thing. And then I said, I'm sorry, I love you. And then I had to put my headphones in because I could not literally put my headphones in and plug into a computer while having a conversation.
You know, we've all been there. Maybe everyone's there today with us.
Anyway, well, sometimes I feel like I can multitask and sometimes I feel like I can't. So I don't really know if that's a thing or not, but
there's a whole rabbit hole we could go down there. But can we talk about the elephant in the room?
Sure. Oh, I know what you're going to say. Because guess what? I didn't read the show notes, but go ahead, tell me.
Praise the Lord. We're all thankful. Your hair.
I know.
I'm telling you, I'm not trying to be This is so unhelpful what I'm about to say, but you look thinner.
No, it's okay. I'm down for it.
There's some illusion that's happening where your face looks slimmer.
Okay, I was going to say, I think part of it is that the way that I do have a fresh blowout, and I think it's elongating my face.
I think so too.
Because the way that the layers are working with the highlights is giving a lot of beautiful dimension, and it's really pulling everything like, well, I already have a longer face, but it's just accentuating it well.
Yeah, I love it. She got highlights.
I got highlights.
People aren't watching.
Yeah, I got highlights. It was so great though, because I showed Zoe, who did my hair, I was showing her, like I did a fresh, like I'm going to clean my hair before I show up because I want her to actually see the blonde that I have. Mm-hmm. And then I showed her last week's episode and she was like, oh my gosh, wait, that's your hair? And I was like, yeah, like that was a week ago. And she was like, oh, I did not realize it was that dark. And I was like, yeah, that's why I wanted to wash it for you so you could see it like fresh. And she was like, you know, there are some people who I think are just supposed to be blonde, and I think you're one of those. I was like, nah, thank you. Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you.
I agree. There's something about that, dare I say, dirty blonde that just doesn't work for some of us.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's all about lighting. And like when the dirty blonde works for me is when the lighting lets the golden come out and it's beautiful.
Yes, when it's freshly washed.
And it's only like maybe 2 days.
Yeah. And then you have to wash again. But if that's your natural hair, then you don't have to go a week. Like you could wash it every day if you wanted to, if you don't have colored hair. Think about it that way.
Oh, see. Oh, is it bad to wash your hair all the time if it's colored?
Yeah. Because a little bit of color comes out. My understanding is a little bit of color comes out every time you wash your hair. And you pay way too much for that.
I did not know that. I will say she did tell me. She said, now granted, this is not like a have to. This is just like a helpful thing. She said, if you're going to go swim in the pool, for me to get it wet first and put conditioner all the way through it. And it'll kind of help be like a middle ground between the color and the chlorine.
Okay, I wondered that. That's a great in between.
Yeah.
To know.
So that's what she said. She said you might not have any problems if you didn't do that, but it's just helpful to.
Yeah, because I guess our hair would turn green when we didn't have colored hair. But you're saying it could still turn green even with colored hair?
I thought that's what she was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're going to wash the chlorine out, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anyways. So I got my hair colored. I'm feeling literally like a new woman, like a new baby. Like I feel great. It's amazing.
You're going to look back on content you made when you had darker hair and be like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Because I do.
Oh, I do that. I do that with auditions. I'm like.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you auditioning right now? What's happening in the acting world?
I mean, I'm auditioning mostly just for commercials. So I'm signed only for commercial right now. And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling the capacity is there to like reach out for theatrical. Mm-hmm. I have friends who are auditioning for both, and I think they're both slower. I just think it's also just really dependent upon who you are, where you fit in the business. I think, yeah, representation plays into it. Where you are in the world. There's a lot of variables. But for me, yes, I mean, I'll have weeks where I'll have like maybe max like 3 commercial auditions. And then, there'll be like a gap of time of like nothing.
Well, I feel like commercials might be dying.
I mean, I think the way this is going to turn, I'm curious about my last episode. People are going to be like, oh, well, I'd love to talk about it with somebody if they're like, I disagree, because
I think what I'm trying for those of us who didn't listen to the last episode.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I agree with you. But I also, as I was listening back to the last episode, I think commercials are not like a one size fits all. Like a commercial is a lot of different things. Like there's so many different types of commercials. So I think some of them are dying, yes, or at least like the way that they are making them are different. Like I've seen some AI commercials and I'm like, oh my goodness. And then, being in the voiceover space for a while, that has had a lot of change. But there's still stuff out there. It's definitely just changing. But I do think the way that companies are marketing is what's also changing, which is what we talked a lot about last week, was that a lot of that's happening, on social media now, because that's what a lot of people are spending their time is on social media. So, yeah.
Ev and I have family friends, and she is a influencer, and her commercial popped up on the TV the other day, and it runs on Instagram, and that's like she is in Instagram. So I've just started picking up on things where it's like, it's funny that some of these contracts that influencers sign to make these ads might also be like, hey, we're going to also run it on, like, think about it, YouTube ads, right? Run it on YouTube. It's widescreen, so why could you not put it on the TV? It's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, contracts it's still kind of a wild. I think some of those contracts are, I'm speaking from not certainty. So SAG was the union, like the governing body for a lot of how contracts were being done between actors and, the commercial world. Then you had social media kind of come in and influencer marketing come in, and it became the Wild West for a while. And so SAG wasn't a governing body over that for a while, at least to my knowledge. Mm-hmm. And so those contracts were kind of the Wild West, and like non-union, like meaning like you're coming up with your own negotiations. So that can kind of muddy the waters of like how long things are going to go for and how much people are getting paid for. And are you cheapening the labor overall because people are agreeing to do it for less, for longer? Just all of these like issues that you're seeing in UGC work. I mean, like this is a problem that's been around for ages. But all that to say, yes, I think some of that is getting a little bit more ironed out now. I would imagine. Because the influencer world has been around for a while. You're having a lot more agencies having domain in that space. I think SAG now has contracts in that. I don't know. So I think you're having a lot more like, hold on, I know we've agreed this way for a long time, for the past couple of years, but we're going to have to push back a little bit. Hot take. I was watching Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders.
Haven't seen the new season yet.
It's so freaking good. Please let me know when you're ready. I was like, do we talk about it on the podcast?
We could recap it next week.
It was very good. It was a very quick and easy watch. But
you're already done.
I'm already done. I had no idea the amount of money in social media. Like some of those women were talking about their contracts just from being on that show. And like, I'm sure it's even more than this, but one of them was talking about like a $50,000 post. I was like, I'm sorry, what? And I know that used to in the acting world, like, I think there are commercials still like that. SAG, national commercials. They are farther and fewer between. They're not as much as they used to be or as prominent. But you could book one of those a year and literally make a living.
I've been on Zooms where influencers talk about Christmas time, and that's like the end of the year, Q4, all of those things, and that's when they make their money for the whole year. Whether that's through brand deals, affiliate links, all the things. But for Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders, like, of course a brand's going to. Why would you not? Like, they have so many followers, and they should make that much on a post. Because here's how I do the math at a micro level that I'm at is if I'm selling your product that costs $100 and you're going to pay me $1,000, then I'm going to hopefully secure you 10 of those customers. And once I've secured you 10, I've paid for myself. But if I secure you more than that, then you're winning, right? So for me, it's like, yeah, they should get paid that much because they're probably making that company 4 times that.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. I just had like no idea.
I love that they're sharing that on the season because was it last season that they were talking about how much how little they get paid from the cheerleaders? And the owner was like, but it's a privilege that you're on the team. You're here to be. It was kind of a weird
last season's
moment.
Was a little rough, in my opinion, for a lot of things. Self-image, pay. There was some, This season, you can tell they were definitely like, we need to, I don't know if be better is right. They actually were. Like, I genuinely think it was just like from the top down, like a family. It was just a really great and like empathetic to what the girls were going through. Like, they talked a lot about social media and the hate that they can receive and how that can be really harmful to them. And it was just like a really good show. I love the
Cutie
season.
Southern girls on there, right?
What's
her name?
Reese.
And
then I was obsessed. There's a new girl who's originally from New Zealand but lives in Australia. And she goes, I was like, oh my God, because I've been working on my Australian accent and I did it a lot in episode 1, which might have been annoying people, but I'll say like, "Arnar." She literally goes, "Arnar, my toast, Arnar."
Where's my husband? Yes. Who also says it that way? Me. Did you pick that up from me?
No, I picked it up from a girlfriend, Haley Sword Out podcast. She has a podcast. Oh my God. Sorry. I'll have to remember what their podcast is. Dang it. Anyways, she's amazing, but she talked a lot like that, and I copied her, and I love her. Okay, yeah.
I still do, despite my husband's happiness, say "nar" all the time. And we were dating when he looked at me and said this. He was like, "Babe, I don't get the ick from anything that you do, and I don't even subscribe to the ick. But when you do that," and I said, "Well, listen, you're gonna have to get over it because it's part of me now." And you know where it comes from, Meg? Do you remember? You might have been too old, but
I wonder if it came from me, but okay.
Random, it's like the SNL that was on Disney Channel with Demi Lovato. Random, with the chance. That's so random. That's what it's called. That's so random.
Okay.
Do you remember this at all?
No.
Okay, that's fine. For the Gen Zs that are watching or listening, Demi Lovato was on this Disney SNL version show, and it is still some of the funniest skits. You can find them on YouTube. I quote them to this day, but there is this one that is the Australian supermodel, and it's a guy, and he's meeting this girl's parents, and he can't stop being a supermodel. So he's like, 1 or 2, and he does these poses. And then at one point he goes, "Oh, no." And he does that throughout the episode. But he shows up. He's like a guest character like SNL has that shows up every so often. And that was
really good.
Yeah, thank you. So anyways, I will find the YouTube video and link it. I'll link it on Spotify. I don't know that I can be linking on YouTube with that security. But anyways, so long story to say, I didn't know if that's where you got it from.
No, I mean, maybe she got it from that too, but no. Anyways, I have been working on an Australian accent for like a very long time, and it's been, I would say, was a hard one for me. It still is, but like maybe Bluey helped a little bit too. Love Bluey. Have you been
watching Bluey with Charlotte?
No, I watched it when I babysat a lot though. That would be my go-to. Like, oh, I can watch this. I can actually handle this content.
Did you know Mom and Dad showed Charlotte Bluey?
Yes, I know. And I came in and I said, "What are y'all doing?" And they're like, "Oh, she just wanted to watch." I was like, "She can't watch TV." Stop.
Dad really thought she enjoyed it.
He did. He was like, "Well, She was enjoying it. Anyway,
I think they were enjoying it, but
I think they were enjoying it. Yes.
oh my gosh. Well, up until today, it's Wednesday when we're recording this. How's your week been?
Last weekend and week was like kind of a blur because I've been celebrating what is 7 times 6? The 47 times 6 times 7 is 40. What is 6 times 7?
42?
Oh no, did I forget math?
I don't like my 6s and my 7s, okay?
6, 7. I don't understand that. But anyway, okay. So the 42 days of Christmas. Now, the 42 days of gifting, I have been having literally celebration after celebration after celebration. Praise the Lord. But it finished this past weekend and it was with Father's Day. And so,
Oh my gosh, we were all lost. Okay.
sorry. So like the 42 days of gifting in the Smith household ended on Sunday with Father's Day. It was a great weekend and I was very proud of myself. And if you're like, why does she have such a hard time? Because giving gifts is the lowest love language of mine. Along with acts of service. I don't know which one's lower, but they're right at the bottom. And guess what my husband's highest two are? Those two. So, yes. So I have, for the past 5 years, had to figure out how to be better at gift giving. And it just requires an insurmountable amount of time, of which I also, I don't know, I'm not good at, like preparing, planning, like what? So this year, I kicked butt, I think, and it ended this weekend with a lovely gift. I gave him, Charlotte has this word that she says that's not really a word, but it's like a coo, and I made it into a t-shirt. And then I did like a custom book that made him cry. And he said, "Are you going to make me cry?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's my goal, is just to make you cry." And then we went out to a breakfast spot that's really hard to get in. And I actually planned 3 weeks in advance. Oh my gosh. But yeah, all that to say, it kind of messed with my content creation. So going into this week and getting my hair done for 5 hours, I just felt like very rushed this week is my answer, is like, what's been going on this week? Well, I got my hair colored. Praise the Lord. Honestly, Zoe's amazing. And so it felt like it went by pretty fast. But I didn't have my planning that I do on Mondays. Mondays are my like, let's order groceries. Let's plan the meals. And so then that ran into Tuesday, aka yesterday. And so I've just been a little bit like feeling behind.
So after this goes into what you're talking about. After last week's episode, I had therapy the next day. And I was talking about with my therapist, just like creatives, and just like how we are. And
This sounds like a skit. I was talking with my therapist.
yeah. No, but if I'm learning, and she was talking to me about this, like, and I think you're the same way as what you're saying, like, we have to have those planning sessions so that when we start floating and creating, we come from a foundation and we also can end on a foundation. I did not implement this last week, but one thing we talked about is ending my weeks with my to-do list for the next week, because I'm going to probably have a hard time on Sunday evening just getting into that to-do list mindset, or Monday whenever I do my plannings. And I want to try that. Sadly, I did not do that this last weekend because I just wasn't in that headspace to do it. But it's such a good idea, because creatives, or at least my creativeness, needs somewhere to come from and to land so that I can just like be floating in between. Right?
I have like, I literally feel like I've tried everything under the sun. That has been one on my list to try to do, is like on Fridays, kind of like brain dump the next week. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say this lightly. That has never worked for me. And I don't know that I've actually given it a try, but I will say the one thing that does work for me, and like when I was coaching people, this is what I would say to them, is like a planning period on Sundays was like my favorite. And I would do it 2 p.m. every Sunday. I would sit down and I would be like, here's my week. Here's what I like. Here's my basic goals or priorities or whatever. Let's fill in. Let's go. And kid you not, if I didn't do it, the week would like, bleh. And I think that's like the reality, especially when I was coaching women a lot for like fitness and nutrition. I'm like, you have to plan. It, like, your success rate is astronomically higher if you are planning before you go about your week. Even the night before, like when people were tracking macros, they're like, oh my God, I got to the end of the day and I'm like, did you plan the day before? And they're like, no, I planned as I went. And I'm like, it's all power to you, but the success rate is so low that way.
I have a success story with what you're saying, and also like I'm still working on this. So success first. Talking about night before, I find breakfast really hard to like always eat at a good time, like start your metabolism in the morning, like all the things we know. So I started doing overnight oats, making it the night before, and like I have seen such a difference in the beginning of my days because I'm starting with nutrition. And so I feel like that goes into what you're saying, but I also just like, I will do the Sunday planning like 2 weeks in a row and then I don't the next week. And I get so frustrated because I'm like, are there people who are hitting this every week?
They are, and they're miserable. No, I'm joking. But like, I do feel like there are a lot of us out there, again, having coached women. That's so obnoxious to keep saying, but it is true. I would see like repeat things. And I think I'm one of them, and it sounds like you are. It's like something will work for a little bit and then you have to switch it up. Because your brain's like, this is too regimented. I need to spice this. I need to switch up. What's working is that I need to plan, but I got to switch up how we're doing it because this isn't working anymore.
Doing a coffee shop this week. Next week, I'm going to do it in like a pretty part of my house. Like that's me.
I call it yummying up a task. Like, I'm sure this is psychologically a thing, but it just makes sense. Something that is mundane, yummy it up with something that you enjoy. And like coffee. That would be my like, or like I got this from my coach who I ended up coaching with. She would always have us like create a corner in our house. That was like your like planning corner, your like quiet morning pages corner, whatever it is that you do to kind of get yourself grounded. And you make it really cute, like flowers, candle, pillow, blanket, coffee mug, like all the things. And that is where you go. That is like your sanctuary. And I have found that it is so true that it'll give you like a sense of like, this is my spot. This is the sweet place. This is where I have like the, heavens open up moments. And I think that helps. I also think, like I have to have coffee when I'm doing these things. Romanticize.
Romanticizing everything. I talk about this all the time on the vlogs, on social media. Like I am living in a romanticized version of life all the time. Like when we talk about outfits, like all the things. And I think if you're someone who like gets annoyed that you need that, like just accept it. You need to romanticize things. I feel like that's part of it too, is you can get annoyed. It's like, I don't want to have to need to do all these things to make a grocery list for the week. But it's like, just do it. Just try it.
I think a thing that really helps with this is, again, another coach of mine called it I don't think it's something she made up, but it's called a serotonin hit list. Have I ever talked to you about this? So serotonin is like the hormone that is like the happy hormone, right? Serotonin? Yeah. So it's like what makes you happy. And James and I did this, and we will find that in the week when we are crashing out or having these like rutted moments, we need to pull from our serotonin hit list and we need to do it. And here's what it is. It's things that literally give you joy, like give you like a high, like make you excited, happy. For me, it's like window shopping.
Mm.
Catch me going through the mall window shopping. I can't be happier. Like I love doing it. Coffee, walking. If I lived close to the water, it would probably be like walking along the water, sitting along the water, reading a cozy mystery book. And I would say like try to find things that you can do on your own, because when you're crashing out, you can't just like expect someone else to like do the thing that's on your hit list. Like you've got to be able to have autonomy over your own coping mechanisms. But we will pull from that. And I think it's so helpful when you're like trying to romanticize your life. Like everyone has the ability to add these things in. They don't have to be expensive, but you literally can look at something that feels so mundane or so annoying and you can go like, how can I add little sparks of joy in this situation?
Funny we're talking about this because for people who are watching, you can see my room behind me. I've lived in this house now over a year. And like you were saying, like it's time for me to redo some things because I need a area to do my morning time, to get ready and stuff like that, because what I've had in here isn't really working anymore. Because just now that we record the podcast, I have a setup and all these things that would bore you. But I'm about to do what you're talking about this weekend. I'm going to switch some stuff in here and actually take a piece of furniture out of here, but set up this cutie desk behind me in front of a window so that I just have like I need light. That is my like part of my serotonin and my romanticization. I need sunlight. And so if I can ever set up if you watch the vlogs, you know, the desk that I'm sitting at now is in front of a window, because this is where I get work done. And now I have another window in this office to my over here. And I'm going to set up a desk and have like my makeup station, my skin care station that I can like create content at, but do it in I'm finding I'm needing to make it easy for me to do those things by doing this. And I've just found that I've been lacking that in my day to day.
Yeah. I know you're going to get annoyed at what I'm about to say, not you, but the listener.
Oh.
But the Artist Way is so freaking good for this. I kid you not. If you literally feel like you're like stuck, you're in a rut, you don't even know how to do what we're talking about, get that book. You can thank me later. Get that book and just tell yourself, I'm dedicating myself to this book. Like I'm not going to try to fix everything in my life. I'm not going to try to muster up this like feeling of like, how do I just do all this at once? No, start with that book and let yourself lead yourself, and it will happen, and it'll happen in a slow pace that you need, and you'll slowly start to open up your perspective on how to do this for yourself. And it is so healing and it is so good, and I'm making myself want to do it again right now because it's so amazing.
We're on episode 4 and you've brought it up twice, so we're just going to keep a tally.
That's fine, because literally I would be so annoyed by people who are doing what I'm doing until I did it, and then I was like, okay, I get it.
No, I hear you.
But you're naturally doing things that it would lead you to do by doing that book.
Because of my therapist.
I mean, it's a lot of it is very deep therapy. It's just causing you to go in is what it is.
Yeah. You got it. That's what I'm learning, and not to have such a serious moment, but I'm about to turn 29 this year. And I just feel like I'm learning that there are parts of me that maybe at one point I took time and like learned, but now that I am older, I need to sit with those parts again. And some of that is my creative person, like that lives here with me, like my inside. Do you know what I'm saying? Like almost like relearn what she needs. And so that's what a lot of this dialogue you're hearing from me is just like my therapist and I talking about like what that is, because that part of me is also growing as well. And it's also coming out in new ways because of the job I'm doing now, and I love it, and it's so much fun. It also can pull me down because I want to just float around creatively for 24 hours, and I can't do that. So
She talks a lot about in this book, it's your artist, your inner artist, and how to nurture your artist. And you do artist dates every Friday. Oh, I did them every Friday. Sorry. You do them every week. And it's a date with yourself.
yeah,
And
that's like, that's hard to do. Like, to give yourself that.
yeah, and it's like you also make a list. I think it's similar to the serotonin hit list, but you make a list of things that you would want to do, and you essentially start taking yourself on dates to do those things.
Oh, I love that.
Like I would go on a date to Hobby Lobby,
Yeah.
or you could like go on a date to a pottery class, or it could literally just be going on a walk or letting yourself like write or something like that. Anyways, it's just such a great like tool to help you kind of dig in and meet yourself, the artist within you that I think is in everyone. I really do.
I love that.
The FIFA World Cup. Yes, we saw South Africa and Czechia.
Was it so fun? I feel like that's just not something that you do like every year, at least in my world.
Yeah, no, I think it's a once in a lifetime. Okay, it's so funny to me that like as an American, the more that you like are accustomed to world culture, you're like, oh, J.K. Rowling didn't just like dream all these things. This is like from like the world in which they live in. Here's what I mean, guys. Okay, we're sitting there in this stadium, and the screen is like a circular screen above your head, okay? And it goes like, South Africa team. And it's like this like montage. And then you see like player 1, his name and his face. And he like does this like cool move thing. Player 2, it's cool. And I looked at James and I was like, this looks just like the Quidditch World Cup. Kid you not. Like the way they flew in and like showed off each person. And I was like, oh my God, that's where J.K. Rowling got this from. It wasn't like she just like made this up. Like this is literally like what they do at the World Cup. So imagine that you're at the Quidditch World Cup in Harry Potter, but you're actually at a soccer match. Like that's what it was. Which is super cool.
I can see
because I, being my little like, you know, basic blonde American girl, is like, oh my God, James, this is like Harry Potter. This is like Harry Potter.
I really wish I could have had that on camera. That's good.
I mean, I really was. And everyone around me is like not, you know, a U.S. citizen. No, I don't know that to be true. But
soccer or football in general is those fans get so hype. It's almost like an SEC football game. And I love it.
Yeah. And depending on where you are, arguably more. Because James would talk
1000%.
about going to like a soccer match in, I think he went in Spain and maybe another country. And he said it was like literally insane. Like literally insane. But this is super cool because I didn't know who we were going to root for. So I just kind of started to look around and I was like, because I kind of was afraid. I was like, are these people going to be so intense that like if you're wearing the wrong color, they're going to like attack you? Like that was my fear. I'm looking around though with that fear and I'm like, who is sitting around us? Like that's who we're going to root for. And it was a lot of South African people. So I was like, South Africa, which we actually have a South African friend. I actually have 2. I know more South Africans than I know Czechians. So I also felt great about that. So we rooted for South Africa. They tied, which means they both won. Sort of.
Isn't that wild?
Wild.
That's an option.
Yeah, I know. Ted Lasso, famous lines like, "Oh, you guys, y'all do draw, or y'all tie here. That's allowed." It's like, yeah, that's such a wild thought that you're allowed to tie.
You know, we're getting another season of Ted.
I am so excited. I think they're filming right now in Kansas. It's like he's coaching female soccer.
Wow, that's going to be a quick turnaround. Because isn't it coming out in August?
Or maybe they're done wrapping, but I think they filmed this spring.
Okay.
Sorry, It's not spring anymore. But I think they filmed this spring. Yeah. So it was very exciting because it was our probably I guess longest outing, but it was really fun. And I did talk about Charlotte 101 million times, but it was so sweet for us. And then I had a cheeseburger. Oh my God, the restaurant was called Molly B's.
Just the B or B-E-E?
B. Just the B. I know. I got a cheeseburger from it. I don't know what the deal is with me and cheeseburgers, but I got a cheeseburger from it. It was delicious. And actually, it wasn't. It was dry. Unfortunately. My cheeseburger from the SMPA was better.
It was so good. Actually, I hated it.
It actually was dry now that I think about it. Never mind. But the experience was sweet. Now, that's what really matters. The experience was sweet.
Soccer, just in general, is a really fun event to go to. I don't care if it's American teams or whatever. Nashville soccer.
Oh, that's right.
So fun.
You used to
so fun. Yeah. I mean, yes, is the stadium food really, really good? Yes, if you're ever coming to Nashville or you live here, definitely go to a game. Get
for resale the food.
Tickets. No, but really, get resale tickets. And I love to sit on the side, not on the end zones. And get your food, sit down, some of the best food and drinks. And anyways, I just always, I don't know. I think they're so fun. I don't know what it is. They're so different than SEC football games, which are also fun in a different way.
So there was a phase that you used to go to soccer games before you got married and you used to go with your friend who was also single. Were you guys trying to pick up soccer players?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
I had to ask because I remember as your sister, I would watch those stories and I'd be like,
I can tell this story. What's his name? Won't care. He won't listen. My friend had a connection to one of them, but why not? Let's just tell these stories until we get way too many listeners and then I can't tell these anymore.
People can still listen in the future.
It's fine. That's the joke. How do I want to start this? We were going to games. There was this summer where this group of girls were all single other than one, and we just were looking for things to do. Soccer games were fun. We had a connection to be at one the first time, and then we just kept going because they also were really easy to buy tickets for. People would put up their tickets for $50 and you would be in the third row. And then there was one night we had gone out and I ended up meeting one of the players on accident. And then
how do you accidentally meet a footballer?
Okay. So we were in this club and I saw a cute guy and I said,
did you approach him?
I didn't know who he was.
I am so
I didn't. It was a cute guy and I was like, you know what? I'm going to step out. I had just gotten out of a very long relationship.
Yeah.
So I was bold. I felt confident. I wasn't tipsy or anything. I remember everything. And there was this cute guy and he had on this watch and I was like, that's my way in. Do you know what time it is?
I'm so impressed.
And he told me the time. And then I just kept myself open and we were talking back and forth.
Body language open?
Yeah, body language. I'm not saying he was interested. I'm just saying this on my side. And so we kept talking. And anyways, I was like, I think I asked, I was like, are you? Oh, no. He was like, I play for the soccer team. And I was like, oh my gosh, we love going. My friend was standing there with me. And I started talking to him about like some of the players. But I remember I had this moment. I have this thing that I do where I'm like, okay, I'm going to not talk to you about that thing. I'm going to try to show you that I care about other things than that. And I was like, so what do you do outside of that? Like, what's some of your hobbies?
So do you actually live life other than like
Yeah, I was
that?
trying to seem so interested. Whereas when I look back, I'm like, he probably thought that I was like, I don't know, like,
Do you
that's a
do anything
stupid
else with your
job.
life?
Yeah. Anyways, he was so sweet, so kind. Nothing happened after that. Doesn't play for the team anymore. That's the end of the story.
Was he American?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. LOL. I've been meaning to ask you that for years. I'm glad I finally did.
You know, I joke about us having like those funny connections because we did. I mean, I won't expose my friend's connection, but we really went because it was just fun. It was something to do. It was getting outside. And in Nashville, I don't know, when you're single, it can feel like you either are supposed to be like at bars or like in a park or live in a certain part of town and be in those places to meet people. And so me and my girlfriends just found that the soccer games were really fun. And we all enjoyed soccer.
It can be fun. I think it's fun. Okay, so I have this sweet friend that I mentor. There's a point to this. She plays soccer. I said, "So have you been watching any of the World Cup?" She goes, "No." I was like, "Why?" She's like, "'Cause soccer's boring." And I was like, "But you play." She's like, "Yeah, it's boring to watch." And I was like, it really kind of is unless you know the players. But I think that's most sports. It's kind of boring unless you really like have some sort of like teeth in the game.
Unless you buy it. No. Dude, do you not feel that about women's basketball? I can't watch it because I played it.
Well, I'm obsessed with South Carolina. My husband's South Carolina grad. 1, 2. I'm obsessed with Dawn Staley, who is the coach. She's coached for the women's American
Is that the one
team
who
for
dresses
years.
really fun?
I don't know.
Is that the LSU coach? Anyways.
Dawn has been the women's Olympic coach. Is it Olympic, right? Yeah. For I don't know how many years in a row. She's just a fierce woman. And she coaches South Carolina. And the women's South Carolina team is good. They're getting a lot of hype. Them and other teams have. So I've actually but that's because I have stake in the game, meaning like I know these players, I know the coach. I don't know them, but I know about them, and that makes it more fun. Mm-hmm. The only reason I loved watching SEC football this year, that's not true. I love SEC football, but I watched the Netflix documentary, and I was like such a huge fan of, now I've forgotten his name, who was the quarterback at Vanderbilt. I was obsessed with him.
When I married my husband, my knowledge of football went down.
Yeah, because you're like spending your weekends differently.
I can tell you all the cyclists' names.
Yeah.
That are pro cyclists in the Tour de France. I can tell you who their girlfriends are, but yeah.
When you know more about people, it makes it more enjoyable. Like
1000%.
Formula One got more exciting because there was the Netflix documentary. DCC cheerleaders, call back. Because you got to know them, that makes it more exciting.
It's so true. It's so true. Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so what happened to you at the concert? I can't believe you went and saw Ed.
Okay.
My boy.
And it was, dude, I almost texted you this, but I was like, she's not prepared. He announced that it's going to be his last Nashville, North American tour. Like he's going to not tour for a little while.
He needs to go be at home with his family. And
I thought I don't know if you watched the most recent interview he did. I don't remember if it was Apple. It's one of the YouTube ones. But
yes,
he
I think it's
talked
Apple
about
or Disney.
His Disney maybe. He talked about something he's already implementing now with family, where he just tours on the weekends and he flies home for the week.
Wow,
something like that.
I did not watch it, but I yeah.
But you hear Ev and I talk about this all the time. But you hear more and more people trying to get off the road. And Ev being in the music world, like we're in conversations with people who are on the road and how hard it is. And some people love it. I think for some people, it gives them family and things like that. But there's no way that that's sustainable for a really long time. So I am pro. I mean, Miley talked about it recently. Ari talked about it. Like there's a lot of people who just aren't touring as much as they used to. And you know what? I support them.
I genuinely think there's a big family movement, and like, I don't know if Hollywood's the right term, but like anybody in the limelight, like, and maybe it's just because was just pregnant, and my eyes are open, but I feel like everyone's pregnant. Everyone's talking about it. Being a mom is like cool. Like it's not a problem. And it never should have been. But you know what I mean? Like it feels like it's a lot more like, oh, I'm a family man. I'm a family woman, like family. And I think, well, one, I think it's amazing. And two, I think, I don't know, maybe again, my own insecurities, but I'm like, I think we need it in society. I think people need to know, like, your family doesn't need to be sacrificed over your career. Whereas, like, I grew up thinking, like, you can't have both. You got to only have one or the other, and they can't coexist.
Well, yeah. And I think maybe we're seeing more famous people trying to have a more balanced life.
Yeah.
Which, like, please, by all means, in the best way you can. And so, yeah. But the concert was amazing. I wish you could have been there. Meg is a huge Ed Sheeran fan. We both went to our first Ed Sheeran concert together years ago for the Multiply album. It was so good. He just literally, he is such an amazing entertainer, an insane musician. He came out and he was rapping, and he almost did like a 10-minute version. He did like a Taylor's 10-minute version of one of his songs. I just like that's where he came from. And I was just like,
was he still doing the loop pedal thing?
Yeah. So this is called the Loop Tour. So it's all about his loop pedal, which my husband, being the guitarist he is and in the music world, I was like, this is your show.
Did he like it?
Ev was on cloud nine with me, but he was just like this. He'd never seen Ed, and he's been such a big Ed fan too. And Ed does a lot. Like, he just launched a guitar with PRS, like all this stuff that's in Evan's world. So Ev's kept up with Ed as well. So anyways, it was really, really fun. My best friend and her husband also went, but they were sitting across the way.
I saw you, like,
that was fun.
Yeah,
we met up before.
Oh, that's so fun.
We were zooming in on each other because I was like, where are you? But yeah, concerts in Nissan Stadium are so fun because it's outdoors. Yes. Is it warm until the sun goes down? Yes. But it is, I think it's even better than Bridgestone just because you're outside. And like in Nashville, at least for this concert, like it was perfect weather. As soon as the sun was going down, it was a beautiful sunset. Ed had come on right at like 8. That's when the sun sets here. It was so good. Now for one of my favorite segments. Well, the only segment we have at the moment, other than edits.
I do have an edit, but go ahead.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Tell us. No. Do you want to do creator shout out, or you want to do your edits first?
Okay. My edit is literally from 2 episodes ago. There was the funniest soundbite about my Pale Dream story. But then I was like, yeah, because they have no melatonin in them. Melanin.
You did say melatonin.
Melanin.
That is so funny. I didn't even catch it.
Well, yeah, I know. That's just my brain. It's like they're both M words. Like what?
I bet you 70% of the people who listened went with it.
Of course, because everyone, who's the snot who's like, you meant melanin. It's like, we all know I meant melanin. But anyways, I'm going to edit it out. So there it is. Melanin.
Thank you. Wow, we're doing edits 2 episodes back, Callie.
I'm not even sure I have one from last episode. Sorry, not sorry. I got feisty.
No, last episode was hilarious.
It really was. So many great bites. So many great sound bites. Okay, creator show.
Do you have a creator show?
I do. Okay, and it's a little sentimental this week.
Aww.
Okay, so I don't have one, but I have 2.
Oh.
And because I was thinking a lot about this, and as I think about like just where I am in life right now, as far as creating and going after it and letting myself just like do things, try things, be okay failing, all the things that I like really have been talking about on this podcast. There are two people in my life, two women who I like have been in my court for so long and have been huge advocates for me to like lean into comedy. Have said you need to do something and like they're just like people who they're so generous with their like care and love for me. So anyways, one of them is her name is Ansley Gordon. At Ansley Gordon is her Instagram handle. She is a mom, writer, actress. We met on set. She is phenomenal and such an inspiration to me. She just really goes after things, and huge inspiration. So there's that one. And she's funny. And then the other one is Heidi McMahon, who is that redhead Heidi. I think that's what her handle is. She's a podcast actress. Was my coach for a long time. If you hear me saying my life coach, that's who I'm referencing. She's phenomenal, but both of them are, every time I talk with them, they're always like trying to hype me up, and I love them so much. And they're both just like fun people to go follow. So
that's so sweet. Cute.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Okay. Well, I think that's all we got this week.
That's all we got this week. We're keeping, I could talk about next week. I'm attempting to travel with a newborn and go to the beach. And that is a whole thing right now. So,
okay, we're going to hear more about that. Ev and I are doing a long weekend, like taking off, like intentionally. So
I hope it's sweet.
Yeah, I've written a list of some adventures to go and do.
Oh, well, I hope everyone has a wonderful week. I hope you go and venture with your family. As always, keep it kind. Keep it honest. Keep it silly.
Oh my gosh.
Keep it sisterly.
Toodles.